we not? Like, because doing it over and over again, then you start thinking about it, and I'm like, can we just like roll, and I'll figure it out. Hi, my name is Salima Rockwell, and I'm the head volleyball coach here at Notre Dame. I've been a college coach for about 21 years, and it's truly my passion, and it's who I was meant to be. However, if you would have told me that 25 years ago, I would have told you that you were crazy. And I'll get into more of that a little bit later. I was a competitive athlete my whole life, but also competitive in the classroom, and someone that's taken great pride in the work that I produce, both on and off the court. As I reflect on my life and the values and pillars that seem to hold true, it always, for me, comes back to my roots and my relationships within them. When I left my parents' house for the first time and moved to Penn State to embark on one of the most rewarding journeys of my life, I remember, like many of you, feeling overjoyed with excitement, but also overwhelmed with apprehension. What if I don't do as well in school here as I did in high school? What if I'm not as good as the volleyball coach who recruited me thinks I am? And what if the bonds and strengths of the relationships of the people I meet aren't at all like the ones I experienced in the past? What then? In every phase of life, you'll find that some version of those questions will creep into your head, because unfortunately, there is no life manual. But what we do have is our relationships that help shape who we are and how we view and navigate the world. Every family is different. Therefore, all of our perspectives and all of our responses to things in life will be vastly different as well. These bonds and these views at the time are seemingly static. This is just who I am. This is what we do. But the older you get, the more you realize how we are not fully determined by those influences. I was raised in a loving home where school was a priority and extracurricular activities were just that, extracurricular. I embraced that way of life until I realized there was more to me and more to my life than my academic achievements and pursuits. The blessings that come from a family is the bond that you have with each member, whether they be good or bad. Within every relationship is a lesson, a story, and a connection that can help you grow and be the catalyst to amazing things in the future if you let it. In the Reading the Good Life, the lessons from the world's longest scientific study of happiness, it states, it's true that childhood matters and parenting matters, but no single element of a person's life fully shapes their future. In this reading, you're challenged with the task of being open to view people differently, open to reflect on your own experiences, open to change, and confronting your own emotions. Can you learn from a positive experience? Absolutely. But can you also learn and grow from a negative one? Certainly. We see it all the time when someone vows never to do something in their own family that they experienced growing up. This is true learning and growing from your roots. The lessons are sometimes hard, but channeling how our roots continue to impact us could be the greatest thing you've ever done. Now, how can you, as a freshman at Notre Dame, lean on your roots to help you have a positive and fruitful experience in your time as a college student? When you think about it, can you believe how deep those roots really are? How can they guide your life on campus at Notre Dame? I would ask all of you right now to think about which people in your life instilled your values in you. And as you go through that familiar Rolodex, imagine the impact you can have instilling those same values and lessons you learned on other people in the world. It's not just possible, but in my mind, it's the Notre Dame way. I talked earlier about my time growing up, and when I think about how I was raised in an academic-focused household, I am amazed that my passion for the sport of volleyball even allowed my parents to see me different and in a different light. They shifted their own view of who I might view. They knew I was smart, and they encouraged me to go for what I wanted in life, but no one saw volleyball driving the course of my life. It was my father who eventually said to me that I was going to be a coach one day. And I fought it. I fought it hard because I wanted to be more than just my sport. But the fact that it was my father, the one that instilled the need for education, being the one that said, in the end, I should coach, was pretty remarkable. But I believe this is a perfect example of how our roots shape us, even if it's not in the ways we might otherwise think. Even for someone so seemingly set in his ways, my father, that's what he thought. Relationships can and will change. Views of one another and expectations of one another can and will change. And these are some of the greatest lessons we can learn about our roots. I take so much of who I am and how my roots growing up and now having a family of my own have influenced me, and I apply it daily to my team. How can I empower them to be the best versions of themselves? Is much of it volleyball related? Of course. But is it what I believe to be the most important? No, not at all. My life experiences have shaped how I interact with them, how I uplift them, how I encourage them. And they have enhanced my inherent need to have a positive impact on my student athletes' lives, to help put them in the best position possible to succeed in anything in life. I challenge all of you to let your roots grow deep, as they are the foundation of who you are, and they provide balance and stability in life. But also, be sure to allow them to stretch and spread so you can grow with them and influence those around you. Never forget that you too are a root that helps shape someone else's life. And that impact, which can enhance and shape their world, may very well be the best legacy you can leave in your lifetime.